Good evening. We'll be starting in about 5 minutes, maybe less, about 8 o'clock. We should be ready to start now, Kuno.
Okay. So, hello everybody. I want to welcome you to the art of staying sane in a world in upheaval. The subtitle for my workshop is Using a Time of Crisis as a Chance for Mind-Body Healing and Personal Transformation. My name is Kuno Bachbauer. I'm a body psychotherapist, co-energetic therapist, and family therapist. And I work at a place called NIHA, which is a holistic integrative clinic that integrates very deep work with alternative medicine, mind-body methods like what I do, and preventive methods. What I'm trying to do today is actually a form of a guided meditation for an hour. I will be talking to you and through the whole session, but I will also try to guide you into a process that may be meaningful for you in a very difficult time where so many people are scared, so many people lose their lives even, they've lost their livelihood, they don't know what's going to be next. And in this time, it's important to do, of course, every medical treatment and any preventive method that you can do, but also to change your mind in a way so that you can be as healthy and in optimal shape for receiving the challenges of life right now as possible. So that's my job right now, to help you with my understanding as a body psychotherapy, as a mind-body worker, to help you have tools and a way of looking at the world that eases the pain that's happening right now. So that's my hope for you. The problem about thinking about doing a webinar is it's like basically talking to an answering machine for a whole hour, which is kind of like about as horrible as it gets from my kind of personality. I need people to talk to. I need people to look into their eyes. I need to feel the body. Unfortunately, that's not what we're going to do. But it is really an incredible opportunity. I probably would never do a webinar if we wouldn't have this kind of challenge right now. So let's go a little bit on to the next slide. And we're going to do a meditation together. Because I feel like if we are in this journey of overcoming such a difficult situation, we need to be in the same step together. We need to be entrained. We need to be in harmony. We need to feel each other, even if we can't see each other. So I figured, well, before I start this talk or go further with this talk, we started already, but like before we go further, I want to kind of tune in with you. I can't talk. There's no feedback that we can have, but we can have a mind that's reaching out to each other. So I'm going to do an exercise that's a meditation exercise that you could call extending the field or extending to the field. And the field is you, right? So whoever is right now online, I'm hoping to extend to you to build an invisible bridge with you so that we can feel this kind of like that we are in the same orchestra, we can playing the same music together. We have the same longings. They may be all different, like in an orchestra, you have different instruments. So we may play different songs, not different songs, but different instruments, but we want to harmonize. So just take a few minutes to just like reach out into the world. Whoever is out there, I know there's some people all over the country, some people in New York, some people in Atlanta, people on the West Coast who are part of this. So I'm just like extending to them my invisible energetic feelers. And in order to kind of like an idea what that could look like, I show you the next picture. Just feel this feeling of that you're more than the body. So this is a picture by Alex Gray, where you see when you look through the body to the skin of the person, you see the energetic field. You see the acupuncture meridians. You see the bones, the nervous system, the blood vessels. But there's also a bigger field of energy radiating around them. And if you imagine this kind of rays that come from this person reaching out, it's kind of like that you could visualize reaching out to everybody that's part of this broadcast. But also, I hope that we're reaching out to the people who are right now fighting for their lives and the people who are fighting to keep those lives healthy and safe. And all the people who are worried and in fear and or angry or shut down, so that we can kind of like be one community. The reason why I'm also doing this meditation, which I hope right now you're sitting there feeling the feelers, the streamers of energy reaching out to each other, to your friends, to your family, to your loved ones, to your extended world, to the members of this webinar, and everybody else that's part of our world. The reason why I'm bringing this up right in the beginning is because we will be talking about two different the brain, that our brain has been built in 3 different stages developmentally. So it's kind of like it didn't just all grow at one thing, even though some functions have been growing at one time, but they developed over time. So basically we have 3 brains. The first brain that I'm talking about today is going to be the survival brain. Like that's the one that has to do with fight, flight, and freeze. And that's basically what's going on in the world right now. People are either angry or in action to do something to survive, to fight the virus, or they are running in place because they are afraid and stuck because they are attacked by a force that they don't know and they can't escape, or at least they don't feel that they can escape. And the third one is they just shut down, they give up, they numb out, they drink, they smoke, they do something to sleep, to not feel what's going on and not be present. So the main part of this lecture is going to be on this, but like the part of the lecture that has to do with how to heal this has to do with going to the next part of the brain, which is the connecting brain. And the connecting brain has to do with your ability to connect with other people as a tribe. And we have this brain is built to see what's going on in another person so that we can help each other out. So this is part what we're doing right now. We are even invisibly, because we can't really see who is on the other side of the screen here. We are reaching out to the other people, and your brain is reaching out to other people to give support and to get support. So we can do that by just thinking about other people. Parents do this all the time, routinely. They know where their children are, they know how their children feel, just from tuning in through mindsight, through mirroring. So, so I want to start practicing that part, like in the first beginning of this class, because I think it's so essential. And the third brain that has developed over time Some people think there's 4 brains, but it gets too complicated at the moment. The third one is the choosing brain. That's the brain that makes the higher choices. That's the brain that's right above your eyes, and that makes ethical choices, that has a will, that makes a choice that says thy will be done, or there's a higher vision that a person has. And that's the brain that learns and knows how to follow the higher vision in spite of what's going on in the survival brain. So this is very important because this part of the brain is going to help you overrule your fear patterns, overrule your anger, even overrule your shutdown mechanisms. It can help you get out of it. So that's very hopeful that we have that part. But right now, let's do one more moment where we're holding that energy, where we're holding the extension to whoever is part of this group right now, whoever is tuning in with us, and mainly also with yourself. You want to really feel yourself at this moment, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead to the next slide. And this slide is about who we are when we're healthy. So there is this slide by Deepak Chopra, and it's on meditation, and I just misappropriated it basically, and it shows you that a person that is healthy is in flow, and you can see recently from the terror that we go through and the unknown, the uncertainty, that flow is interrupted. So people get stiff, they get rigid, they get defensive, they get overactive, they get underactive, but they're not in flow, or less. Let's say less in flow. If you're not in flow at all, you're dead. But like you're gonna be less and less in flow. You're more and more shut down. Or the opposite can be true. You're over excited or over anxious. So it can be both directions, but like both directions are indicated that you're not in flow. A healthy person is intuitive. They're curious. They're adaptable. They have a strong sense of perspective. They can see a bigger dimension than what's right in front of them. They're dedicated, driven to serve, desire to heal, resourceful, and open, empathetic, patient. They're a good listener. So we want to end up having these qualities, those 3 major qualities: intuitive, dedicated, open. When all 3 functions of all 3 parts of the TRIUNE brain that I described before, when they are aligned and in harmony, that's who you are. You're intuitive, dedicated, open, in the flow. It's a sign of a healthy person. If you have a healthy mind, you also most likely have a healthy body as a correlation. So this is where we want to be, but we're going to talk about the other stuff next. Okay, so get ready. Here's the next picture, and this is me in a store, being on the defensive side and doing the right thing. So I hope you're all doing the right thing of social isolation, hand sanitizing, wiping down surfaces, doing all these things to protect yourself and also to protect other people. So you have to do that. On top of it, follow your doctor's orders to do what it takes to get through this time. You know, do it from that place of flow as opposed to a place of fear and survival, because I can see that this could be a problem when everybody from fear and survival registers all the fear up that they have and reverberates it with everybody else. We're just going to be an anxiety-ridden society and not a group of people that looks at things with a cool mind, with a balanced mind, with perspective and love. So part of this lecture is working with this and to come to this mode so that we can understand what to do and who we are. So let's do another exercise. I hope you enjoyed the first one. The next one is probably a little similar because I want you to, now this time I want you to look at this picture of the coronavirus. It's just you can see this is very beautiful. Colors at least and shapes, but it is also deadly. So there's an enemy here, and I want you to do for the following. I want you to just look at this picture and relax your body as good as you can. So you relax your shoulders. Lots of people's shoulders are affected in this time. They're pulling the shoulders up to the ears. Their chest gets tight. Then they think they have a symptom of the coronavirus, but it's probably a symptom of fear. Right? They may hyperventilate. They may think they or get stuck in breath because they're afraid. So right now, what would happen if you relax your shoulders, relax your arms, relax your legs, relax the pelvis floor, like the bottom of your pelvis, where you're sitting on. And then the most important one is relax your belly, like a Buddha belly, like when you see the pictures of Buddhas, most of them, they have most Buddha pictures have a big belly. And it is kind of a sign of relaxation. A Buddha looks at scary things with equanimity. So what I want you to do is look at this picture. This is the enemy, but this is really not the enemy. This is just a fact. This is just a situation that when I not go into my defensive brain, I can have my belly relaxed, have my breathing open, my shoulders relaxed, my feet on the ground. I'm grounded. Grounding means I'm able to tolerate a very strong energy. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm grounded like a tree is grounded with roots. That often people say that doesn't make any great sense to me. Or it's only a part of what grounding is. What really grounding is the ability to tolerate difficult energy. So I want you to look at this picture and look at what it represents right now, all the fears that you have and that we all have. We all share it. I have it for sure. And just breathe into the experience. But in this case, you're working on being the master of your emotions by letting your belly hang out, by letting your shoulder relax, by letting your arms be heavy and warm, by relaxing your eyes, by having your breathing deeper and more normal, by relaxing your jaws. And you will know by just watching this, by watching yourself, watching this picture, what your style is. Because some of you probably have already numbed out and gone mind surfing somewhere. Other ones started getting more tight and more afraid. And other ones got pissed off for something. They probably found some reason already, just maybe pissed off at me right now, guiding you into this. But you're gonna know this part of you, either anger or aggression, fear, trapped in space, or giving up, collapse. So let's go further, okay? So the next step in my talk will be a little bit more technical, and we're gonna look under the hood of what a traumatic situation is. We're gonna talk about how to imagine that. And when I do this, please forgive me that I'm gonna simplify things because I want to meet as many people and keep them interested as possible. And there's many more aspects and complications to the brain science of things like this. But in an hour, there's not enough time and enough space and maybe not enough interest to go into every detail and every complexity of it and some of the contradictions of it, because not every brain scientist or trauma scientist understands these things in the same way. So we're looking under the hood, and what we're going to do is we're going to work on 4 different things. We're going to see how the brain works. Then we're going to discuss the 3 biological reactions to trauma, which is fight, flight, and freeze. Then we're going to work on the pre-existing trauma and medical conditions that may influence how trauma is metabolized, how it's going to turn out as good or easy or hard and difficult or even deadly, right? So, and that has to do with your underlying childhood trauma experiences. In technical terms, it's called adverse childhood experiences, and there's a whole study on that and how they affect future outcomes in health. And the last part is going to be continuing what we're already doing, namely learning methods of facing the virus or facing our fears, because the fear is really related to our perception. We're not like afraid of the virus, we are afraid of the perception of what the virus is going to do to us, right? Like when we go to a zoo, we go to the zoo because we're looking at the lion and say, how beautiful, it's a great thing. But if we're afraid what the lion would do when you let him out of the cage. So unfortunately, this lion has gotten out of the cage, this virus has gotten released from God knows where. And now we have the perception of, it's going to kill us, it's going to hurt us, it's going to hurt my friend, it's going to hurt my partner. But it is not necessarily the only thing that it is. It's a beautiful being in itself. It is a part of necessary environment, ecology of the world, right? So just to look at that. But what we're going to do is working to overcome our defensive reactions so that we can welcome whatever happens to us as positively and as inclusively as possible. So the next one is this will be done already, but we want to figure out what is health. This is a cell, and the problem with a virus is the virus gets like into the cell, through the cell wall, into the cell and takes the cell over, that takes the functions over. But a healthy cell, unfortunately, I can't get this going. Normally, like this pulsation thing is actually dancing in a circle. So showing you this is alive and there's a pulsation to health. So a healthy person vibrates. It hums, and there's a balance between charge and discharge. When an organism gets sick, like when a virus takes over, these cells they die out. The mitochondria, which are these little bean form shapes in a cell, die out. They are our power cells. So it's basically like shutting down the electricity in a cell. And then that's what makes an organism sick. That's what makes you tired when you have the flu, like the normal flu, as opposed to the COVID flu, where you get just tired and you can't get out of bed and you can't think about ever getting out of bed again, is because your pulsation has diminished, your vibration has diminished, your electric charge has almost gone, but you're still alive, obviously, but like it's on the way out, right? Until you recover and you're getting all the pulsation back. So a healthy person has a high frequency of pulsation. when that pulsation goes down, it's a sign of illness. Next picture is on stress. So this is what's coming in right now. When there is stress, like for instance, an outer stress, like a virus threat, there's a whole biochemical or hormonal cascade that goes on that changes the function of the body. And it's an adaptive process to help you survive. But if you get stuck with it, that makes you sick in itself. And it's also because because in stress, the hormones that are working for stress have to do with adrenaline and cortisol. Those hormones, they are meant to be only short term, and they're only meant to for attack, to run away from somebody or to attack somebody that's your enemy. And then as soon as that's over, you're gonna be you return to a more balanced state. Unfortunately, when you're in prolonged stress, this mechanism gets destroyed somehow or gets activated somehow, and your immune system gets affected because the immune system shuts down temporarily because you don't really need an immune system to attack a lion. But when you're done with the lion, you need an immune system back, and that's not happening when you're constantly in stress. So one of the things that we're working on is that if you facing the virus, this is why I have the picture, showed you the picture before. When you're facing the virus from fear and from that attitude of stress, your immune system is going to be aggravated and actually not as able to defend itself against it, because a normal immune system should be able to defend against any virus, bacteria, whatever comes into us, but it won't be able to do it if you're too stressed out. So part of the work that we do for this session, and it's just like to get you inspired, I can't really give you a long course, but just to give you an idea what's possible and how to change your mind, and also how to move yourself away from stress, right? So the next picture is on that other part of the autonomic nervous system. So we have a fight and flight system, which is this side here, where when we run away from a snake, for instance, there's another one that helps us rest and digest, but it is also the mechanism that helps us shut down when a danger is too big. So if this would be a normal garden snake and they would be not poisonous, running away from it would be a good thing. Okay, so you're using the sympathetic nervous system to activate your muscles and you run away and you survive. If it's a cobra, the chances are a little bit different, but like still running away may be the good thing. If you can do something else more aggressively, you go to fight, and some people can shoot at the snake or hack it or something, then you survive, okay? When the threat is too overwhelming, you end up like this guy laying down in the parasympathetic part. You shut down, you collapse, you give up, you don't want to deal with the situation anymore. That's when we play dead. So this guy is playing dead, this guy is resting, but playing dead would look the same way. So this is a method how we escape overwhelming threat, is by shutting down. When we perceive the threat is not so overwhelming, then we're gonna either run away or attack. So let's do an exercise that's related to the autonomic nervous system. And this happens to be my the first exercise in my life that I've learned as a medical student, because I was, going through a hard time, and I had sleepless nights, that kind of stuff, and heart racing, and the stress was too much, and then learned autogenic training. And I could really feel the first time in my life that I could influence my mind and my way of feeling through very simple bodily exercise. So what I want you to do is sit down for sit with like your feet on the floor, the hands on the legs, upper body upright. And let the right arm, imagine the right arm to get really, really heavy. And also, you will see when you let that right arm get heavy, it may also get really warm. Now you may have a paradox experience where your right arm, when you want it to get relaxed, it's going to get really tight and cold. And that's called a paradox reaction. There's nothing wrong with it. Sooner or later, that's going to change and you're going to feel the other stuff. But let's just accept what's going on when you let your right hand rest on your knees and let it get heavy. And you could imagine or say to yourself, right hand heavy and warm. Remember the breath, remember the belly, the Buddha belly. Maybe you can have a moment of the Buddha belly right now while you're doing this. And some of you probably feel by now, they feel that the right hand is bigger or heavier, wider, different. Right hand is heavy and warm. Some of you may feel it going through your arm up to the shoulders into your neck, and you may feel actually the right shoulder relaxing. Breathing into this. Whenever there's a thought that comes up that distracts you, including thoughts of the coronavirus or thoughts of other fears that you may have, just breathe and acknowledge them and don't fight them. Just be really present with what is this moment. So some of the best meditation work that I know is about to be just in the moment without going away from this moment. You're just present in this moment with your life. The moment you're focusing on your right arm and your right hand resting on your knee, that all that matters, and you're pulling away from any distraction, any fear, any other thought, any desire, any compulsion. You just like come back into this moment, just like come back in this moment. The most important thing is that right hand on your knee. I'm doing this exercise myself right now and started feeling my left hand relaxing more, and I started feeling it also relaxing and heavier. So that's what you're gonna, many of you will experience that. We're gonna just like now go to the left side, same thing, left hand, relaxing, heavy, warm. Left arm, left hand, heavy, warm. Left hand, heavy and warm. Belly relaxed, slightly hanging out. Pelvis relaxed, neck relaxed. Now let yourself have the same visualization, both hands heavy and warm, both hands heavy and warm. Yeah, so we're gonna try to get this back right now. We're back to normal consciousness, and one way of doing that, like they teach you in autogenic training, there's this where you're making fists and you're bending your arms to get the fists up to your shoulders. So you're bumping your fists a bunch of times to wake up again, so you're not like sleepy and dreamy and in a different consciousness state. Okay, so take a few deep breaths and then make fists and then relax and tighten up the arms and relax, like do it at least 3 times and really strong, and then relax, and we're gonna go to the next step. That was the autogenic relaxation. I wish I could now talk about it and see how you feel and have a little sharing, because that would really make it deeper when people can share. But that's not the medium for it, so we're gonna go with what we have. The next picture is one of my favorite things. So you see how on the right-hand side, the person, the quantum man, so to speak, we call it here the undefended self, the person that's in the world without fighting against the world. The person that is in full capacity to be present and undefended, and only you can use your defense mechanisms when you need it, right? So when there is an enemy, you gotta defend yourself, but you're not defended from a place of in a permanent way. You're basically in a state of openness, receptivity, presence. And on the left-hand side, you see the person with the belts, and there are 7 belts that 7 belts. And each ring of this, each belt represents a segment in the body. And the segments are rings of blocks that we can have in defense against the wounding that we can have from inside, but also from outside. So our inner perception can create distortion and patterns of distortion, and can contract us, and some people contract around the chest, other people around their pelvis, other people around their belly. I don't want to talk more about it right now because of time, but basically, the more rings you have that are binding you here, the less free you will be as a person, the less flowing, the less in tune with your environment, the less harmonious you're gonna be or feel. So this is important, because this is what a body psychotherapist would work with to help open these belts, loosen the belts, so that you have more flow, you have more energy going through you, you're more available to the bigger forces in the world, and you're more resilient. So, and resilience is what you need when you want to defend against a virus, because that means that your body is adaptable to any attack or any threat or any impediment to the optimal flow. So we're working on releasing those belts with different methods. And in this case, like what we're talking about, the COVID virus, is you're going to deal with 3 colliding and reverberating aspects of us. The first one is you're gonna have an overactive nervous system. So it's either in flight or fight. You're gonna either want to attack, or you're gonna feel like you're in a trap and can't run away. That's the flight, like you're stuck running away, or you're stuck wanting to act and can't do anything. So it's kind of both are places of basically very deep helplessness in a way. And but because you're helpless and because it doesn't work, the system is going to ratchet up more. So you're going to be more nervous, more overactive, more anxious than if you would just relax and stay present, right? So this overactive sympathetic nervous system is in reaction to the inner stressors, so my belief systems, and outer stressors like an illness or a virus or hunger or something like that. So when that comes together with an infection like the COVID virus, then the immune system has no chance, because now the immune system is worn out because of your fight and flight mechanism. The virus comes in and has a better host, because the immune system is down, so it's like the door is wide open. And when the immune system gets overactivated, you may actually have something called like a cytokine storm, which is an overreaction to the virus. And in this case, in the COVID virus situation, this cytokine storm is maybe bigger than in other flu seasons, and has a deeper damaging function on your lungs. So pneumonia is going to come up, and maybe even death. Or if this goes on for a longer period of time, you could have a prolonged post-viral fatigue, and that turns into chronic fatigue syndromes and other kind of encephalitis type of things you also don't want to have. So really the work is to work on the first two parts to lessen the effect of the virus, not just with medication or healthy eating, sleep, and all the good things that you can do, or preventive type of measures, but also by changing your mind. So this lecture is on the aspect of changing your mind so that the virus doesn't have the deep chronic effect that it can have. So that now brings us to how the brain actually works. And this is a very short introduction. So this is the brain. When you go through break through the skull, you see these parts of the brain. This is the temporal lobe. So the forebrain, the occipital area, right? Underneath there is a deeper structure that they're called limbic system, which has to do with the emotional brain and the connecting brain that I have talked about before. And the whole thing that I described before is called the TRIUNE brain, because it is describing three different parts of the brain. That's why it's called tri, like three, and then united brain. This is the reptilian brain, that's the most primitive part. This is the limbic system. This is the part of the brain that has to do with connecting and seeing, relating to the world. And this is the thinking brain. And the part of the brain that's the furthest forward, this is where we make these higher choices I was talking about. That's why I call it the choosing brain. This would be more the thinking brain. This is my little drawing for it. It shows you the whole overview. You see the brainstem here, the blue thing. You see the bottom is freeze. So this is the lowest ability to react to a threat. Flight is running away. Fight is attack. So it's already a little bit higher up, right? You can see there's a There's an ascendance. But the best one, the next best option you have is actually connect. So that's why we did the earlier meditation. You were connecting to yourself, you were connecting to your friends and loved ones, you were connecting to the people in the seminar. And we were connecting to the people who are ill and the people who are helping the ill people, and basically the whole planet. This is the brain that does that. And this is the brain that helps you survive because of the connection with others. This one is like, think of a crocodile. They don't really talk to each other. They may sun in the, when you see pictures in, you know, from Africa somewhere, you see those crocodiles, alligators, sun in the together, but they're really not communicating. They don't have a limbic brain to talk to each other and help each other out. They're just next to each other. They're enemies to each other, basically. This one is, we are friends to each other. We're supporting each other. We are helping each other out. We are together. We are strong. And then if that is connected with your forebrain, which is your higher brain, or also your spiritual brain that's connecting you to the bigger forces in life, then we are really powerful. And then we will be also really powerful as a group or as a nation. And this is part of the hope that I have when I work with people, that they are reaching to that place that they can unite those three different aspects of the brain and make it one, because that's when it works the most. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit more about the three biological reactions to trauma, which I talked to already: fight, flight, and freeze. But I'm gonna go make this much faster. We're gonna go to this exercise here, and we're gonna do another exercise. And this is gonna be an exercise that's gonna be, because we're gonna, so this exercise is called exhale and release, and we're gonna do a little bit of this. This is gonna this will be dealing with the fight and flight pattern of us, right? So if you're a person that is, now I want to get out and heal the world and do something and fight this virus and invent something, you know, like this thing, or try to, you know, buy up the whole grocery store and whatever, so that you feel safe, that's you. That would mean that your autonomic nervous system is overactive in the face of the fight pattern, and your body would look like stuck in inhalation. So you would be puffed up. You would make basically fists. You may not make fists, but inside you're making fists, basically. I see that when I read bodies, energies, you actually can see when somebody tightens that way invisibly, but you can see the patterns of holding and tightening as if you were attacking, right? As if you were a person with like the fists cocked for attack, right? So what you're doing here is, with the fight, you're avoiding feeling your helplessness and powerlessness. And being aggressive is your way of overcoming helplessness and powerlessness. And how many people don't feel helpless and powerless when you read a newspaper or watch CNN or something? How many people died today, and how many virus people got tested and got confirmed with the virus, right? That's powerlessness. I can't help it. I can't fix it. And what you need to do when you have this overcharge, you need to release your muscles. So, and you need to discharge through breathing, through exhaling. So try right now, just take a deep breath and exhale. Exhale through your breath, relax your jaw. And now we're going to do a little bit more, because with the body psychotherapy, so we can't just have you breathe. We cannot do something that has to do with releasing the muscles that are holding the tension. So I have you breathe out and shake your fists. Have your feet on the floor, then make fists, and just like look at the, I wish I could get the virus back, so you can look at the virus and shake your fists. So, but like, we're gonna do it without it. Like, you look into the world from where you are and shake fists, and you say, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, right? Or something like that. Like, whatever you want to say, whatever is your aggression, it's not mine. You just shake the fists and feel the strength of it, because in this moment you need to find the inner strength that you feel you can master your life. So you need to feel away from your powerlessness and helplessness. You need to feel that you can master life, and this body exercise is helping you to give you that feeling. So if you go running, you can punch a punching bag, you can jump up and down. Any of those exercises are going to allow you to feel your body more, so that you feel stronger, and you're going to feel that you can meet the enemy. Because in this mode, you got to meet the lion, right? You're in front of the lion, your lion, you look at each other, and only one can win. Like, you look at the virus, only one can win, and it's you. So feel that, and one more time, shake your fist and say, I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna win this. Okay, then relax and let your muscles relax and release. We did the part on the chart here that says really express your emotions. I gave you a little bit of a flavor of what that could look like. I'm not sure everybody's gonna agree with me about that, but like, or feel funny about doing that. But that's a healthy and active way to release your emotions. Laughing, crying, screaming. You can drive in your car and scream, right? You can jump up and down, stretch. That's all exercises to master your emotions in a positive way and in a healthy way, so that your emotions don't get stuck in you. And then that emotion, like the emotion of basically the biochemistry of adrenaline overcharge, doesn't work against you, so that your immune system gets compromised because of too much adrenaline and cortisol. So it's a stress release exercise that's done all over the world in different ways. It's not my idea, but like, I'm certainly using it and supporting it and teaching it to people. The next one I wanted to think about is to use meditation. And we did this in the beginning, so we don't have to do this right now, by just breathing out, by exhaling, and by facing the enemy. Like, to really just breathe, exhale, and face. Just be present. And because you did some of the charging up exercises before, or discharging actually, where you felt your strength, it's easier to face what's there. Balance your lifestyle, do all the good stuff, eat right, drink the right amount of water, sleep well, make friends, connect with people, and that would all help you through the first attack of the, what we are going through right now with all the fears that we have about the virus and getting ill, and maybe even worse, that other people that we love get ill. So the next exercise is feeling the unfeelable feeling, and that has to do with the fear mechanism. Fear is one of these unfeelable feelings, and the opposite to it is allowing it to be there, so the surrender into the feeling. And what that means is you kind of again, you face this experience, like you close your eyes, or you look straight ahead, and you look into all the the bad situations that you can imagine right now, and you're breathing into the feeling. I call it the unfeelable feeling, that the feelings that we can't tolerate, the feelings we want to run away from. Again, with a relaxed belly, with relaxed shoulders. And this time, it's like, it's being receptive. The other one was being active, like the one that has to do with the lion, like you're a lion, the other thing is a lion, and you're gonna attack no matter what. This one is, I'm embracing the intensity of this moment. In fact, I wish I had written that down on this slide. You're feeling, the unfeelable feeling is kind of surrendering to the intensity of this moment without going away from it. Surrendering to the intensity of this moment / fear, right? Or any other uncomfortable or overwhelming feeling. You surrender to it and you don't go away from it. You're facing it. Let's do this a little bit. Like just think of whatever is too much, whatever is overwhelming. And instead of running away from it, you're facing it. You're facing the trapped feeling that you have, that you can't run away, that you, no matter what you do, how many squirts of hand sanitizer you use today, you may still not escape this. And you feel this unfeelable feeling of fear or any other sensation that you have, and you surrender into it and embrace it without going away from it. So I see on my watch I have to be kind of speeding this up a little bit, but if there's any questions, you always can read my blog. That's why I wrote it, because that gives you a linear explanation. And also you're going to have the presentation is recorded, so you can download it and look at it again and listen to it again. So we're talking about the flight pattern right now. And again, you have to learn how to feel your fear completely and breathe while you're doing it. If you're holding your breath, you're not feeling your fear, you're avoiding your fear. So basically, you can only feel it completely when you breathe and relax and surrender into your fear and not go away from it. So this is the most important thing I can tell you. Then release your muscles. So again, you can, there's great exercises that you can do. They're called TRE, tension release exercises by Dr. David Berceli. This basically what you're doing is you learn how to tremor, how to shake and vibrate after a shocking experience. And there's many different bioenergetics, core energetics exercises that help you vibrate and release your muscles that way, and release your nervous system, and release then your deeper state of mind, right? We did the meditation to embrace difficult feelings, so we can check that off. Balance your lifestyle, I talked about that. Make more. So learn to exhale, like do deeper exhalations. Okay, so that the flight pattern needs to have deeper meditation. So this like write up is not totally English, but like I'm sorry for that. And then make conscious connections with your partner, with other people. Allow. Don't know what happened. Allow the connection to touch you, so that it's really working for you. The next exercise, and the last one we're gonna do today, is gonna be charging. And this is very important, because the collapsed person, the person that shuts down when there is a threat, they're giving up. They're giving up. They're charging. Even their mitochondria reduce when in the process of giving up. So they don't have enough electricity to get through life. Like depression looks like that. So depression from shutdown is a body-mind physiological state where your cells actually shut down a part of the production, right? So it's like the light is dimming, right? So one great exercise that I know that is going to help you is shaking. That's I told you about that before. There's also a great meditation that you can do. It's called the Osho Kundalini meditation. When you Google my name, you're gonna sooner or later you're gonna find an explanation about it by me on YouTube. But there's many other explanations in better English. And this exercise is also an Osho meditation. It's and a part of the Osho meditation is called the chicken breath. And the chicken breath is very simple. You make fists, you raise your elbows, and you breathe through your nose, and you pump up your body as if your lungs were bellows. So you're bringing up your elbows over your ear, over your shoulders, and pump up and down. And I'm going to make it for you. It's going to sound very strange. So I'm breathing only through the nose. And normally you would stand and then you're breathing in and out really strongly. And that charges up you're bringing oxygen into your brain, basically. That's charging up your system, your nervous system, because it gets the oxygen, it gets the electric charge. And it would be like, if you do it long enough, it would bring you out of a collapse situation or out of a depressive situation. The overview for that is the freeze pattern. It's called freeze mode, shutdown mode. You shut down, give up, and numb out. And the best suggestion here is breathe, feel your terror, but learn how to claim your competence. So you have to move up to basically to aggression to come out of the situation. So if you really shut down, start going for a walk, start doing small exercises to get you ready for it, and then build up and build up and build up. Find your aggression to step out of that collapsed place. And it says here, like, learn how to charge your muscles. It's that exercise I just didn't really demonstrate it because you couldn't see it, but I hope you got a little bit of the idea. Learn to meditate, but from a place of tolerating overwhelming energy. So meditation is really a method where you're learning to sit there and receive the overwhelming energy of life, and you're not running away from it. You're standing there, facing it, embracing it, and being present. This one is another one that's really important. Learn to strengthen your will. A person that's collapsed is giving up their will. So they need to learn how to want something and go for something. But it's probably, you need your will to even have a will. You need to make a choice that you want to do that, because if you're not making the choice, it's not going to help, right? So do the body exercises with somebody, so together you're stronger, make more connections with other people, because the other people are going to take you for a walk. Even now you can go 6 feet apart and go for a walk in order to charge up your system so that you're not frozen in place, okay? This is as far as I can go right now. By honoring that other people need to do something, go somewhere, even though the question is where. But I really want to thank you for listening to me in this hour. I hope you learned something that's helpful. If there's an interest, I'm certainly willing to do more, go further. more detailed. And remember that oneness that we talked in the beginning, that we are really at this moment, the most important thing is that we are doing this together, that we find union in a world where there's a lot of polarity and hostility of every side that's fighting with each other, and therefore not coming out in a consensus and collaborative way. But we can start first. We don't need to wait for anybody. We can do it ourselves. You can start meditating. You can start reaching out to people. You can start supporting people. And I hope this is going to be a healing and a good experience in spite of all the pain and damage. So I'm just checking with my webmaster, Sam.
Yes.
Is there any question or anything that you got in the that we should talk about?
No, just the question came up about the recording of the webinar, which we will have ready tomorrow, and so we should be all set.
Okay, so will people get it sent?
I believe the response email that comes out tomorrow, I'll check that. We'll have the recording once we've completed it.
Okay, great. And people who come from my website or from our email list, you will get it through me. I'm going to send out an email to all my